to another delicious episode of Shelly's Homemade. And today, guys, we're gonna be making some old-fashioned roasted pork. I have a pork tenderloin right here. That's absolutely amazing. We're gonna be using that. I have some potatoes, some celery, and some onions. Yes, and we're gonna be doing this up the old-fashioned style. I have some Shelly's house seasoning. All you need. All right. So now we're gonna cut up our veggies. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get our celery all chopped up, guys. Make sure you keep those tops on there. This end where all the dirty stuff is, even though I washed it, I'm gonna throw that out. All right. I have my baking dish that I've sprayed and ready to go. I'm just gonna take my celery and we're just gonna line the sides with those, just like so. And I'm gonna show you how I did those. Like, I left a hole in the middle for our roast to go. Alright, so now we're gonna cut up our onions and potatoes. Now I have two nice sized onions here, which is going to bring amazing flavor to this. You're going to think Grandma was in this kitchen cooking up this pork roast. Onions here. Now, I'm making this roast the way my mom used to make her pork roast. She always used a pork tenderloin when she did it. Now, if she went and got a shoulder, that was for pulled pork. Not even gonna lie to you. Shoulders were for pulled pork. Pork tenderloins were for pork tenderloins was always for a roast pork. You know, she used to. Her and my dad used to have this thing called a bull roast, and they used to take a whole pig and season it, and have it on this spit, and be turning it in the yard. You know, they dug up, put coal and sticks and stuff down in that hole, and they just kept that flame going and roasted that pork all night. It was amazing. The skin was crispy. The inside was so moist and juicy. And Dad come out with his sauce and this little stick thing that looked like that had like a kind of like a mop, old-fashioned mop, stuck to it. And he would be in there sopping that thing up. And they would have this thing called the bull roast. And they would let me know in the comment section, guys, if y'all ever heard of a bull roast. But anyway, and they would sell tickets to this bull roast. Mom would make all these sides, her potato salad, greens, all this stuff. And it, you know, it would be an open bar. And they would have this pig. They would sell this stuff, and that's how they made extra money. You know, through food. And you know, it's always, everybody always need to eat, so I guess there's always profit in food. So she would season the pig up. Daddy would roast it all night and roast it out on this spit. And they would have music, old. Back then it was old. I loved the music, but it was old music. You know, some Temptations, some Spinners, and stuff like that. You know, mixed with whatever new music was out. They would have DJs and oh man. So what I plan on cutting these, I want these fairly big. So I'll cut it down in the middle and then cut it on an angle, just like so. So it'll, you know, have big slices of potatoes. Anyway, so my mom and my dad was kind of inventive. They always had a way to make extra money because there was a lot of us. So, you know, they had to have extra money to feed us. So, no knocking, you know, do what you had to do. Even though he did what he had to do, he worked every day. But on weekends, like in the summertime, when when we were home, they needed extra money for us school. And then we had to go back to school. Like I said, it was a lot of us, so they did what they had to do. Anyways, so I'm cutting these potatoes on the angle because I think that's just how I like the look of them. And here's just my thing. She just likes her potatoes and put it in there. So, see, I gotta put a spin on it, make it my way. Delicious pork roast. Now, if you don't eat pork, you can always do this with some beef or a turkey roast, a turkey breast or whatever. It'll still be amazing. Alright, I'm not gonna cut that last potato up. So that was 4 potatoes, 2 large and 2 small potatoes. That was, or you could just use 3 big potatoes. That suffice. Look how that is. See how that is? So we're gonna season up these veggies with some Shelly's house seasoning. Or you can use your favorite all-purpose seasoning, or your favorite seasoning, whatever you like to use. Or you could just use some salt, pepper, garlic, onion powder. Will do the trick here as well. Don't forget, make sure you season those potatoes and those onions up, because the flavor is just going to leak from them and into there. We're also going to cover this with some aluminum foil as well, guys. Move this stuff out of the way. I'm going to get my roast, and I'll get my roast, and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now I have my pork here. I have some kitchen bouquet, I have some water and some flour, and I have Shelly's house seasoning. And we're gonna use a little bit of chicken bouillon. So we're gonna put that in our water as well. Just a tad bit in our water. I'm gonna add this flour to our water as well. Anyway, we're gonna slowly, because apparently I put too much water in here. It's okay. We're just gonna slowly get that flour mixed in there. We're making gravy, guys. We're making gravy. Try to smash that flour up against that glass a little bit, or your bowl, or whatever you're mixing this into, and try to, smooth out those lumps. So just keep working it from the top on in there, and it will smooth its way out. I know some of y'all was like, oh, you can put it in there with the lumps in there to smooth itself out. I know it will, but we doing this my way. So to ensure that I don't have any lumps. Alright. Alright, so now we're gonna add just a tad bit, like a half a teaspoon of some kitchen bouquet, just to darken it up for me, because I like it a little dark. Like I like my men, baby. Tall, dark, and handsome. Alright. This on the side. No man get left behind. See, that's the color of pork right there. Pork gravy. Alright, so now I'm going to go in with my Shelly's house seasoning, and I am going to season this baby up on both sides. You can season it in the pan. You don't have to do what I'm doing. I'm seasoning it this way so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Just like so. You're going to put plenty of seasoning on here, and take your hand and just smash that in on that pork, just like so. And go back in, smash it in, Pat it in. Don't rub it in, because all you're gonna do is rub that seasoning right off of it. You're gonna pat it in there, just like so. And we're gonna flip it over to the other side where the fat is, where the flavor is. Just want to get all of that seasoning in there. And just pat it in there. You know, just pat that seasoning in there. See, look at that. See how I pat that in there and that seasoning still stayed on that? That's what you want. You want to do that. You want to pat that seasoning in there. So, see, I'm still on there. Still on there. Don't rub it in there. Don't do none of that stuff. Just pat that seasoning in there, and it will stay in there. Just like so. You can do this on all your meats when you season it. Pat it in there, guys. Don't forget these end cuts in there, because we want that seasoning to stay all in there. Alright, just like so. Now, I'm going to move some stuff out of my way. I'll bring my dish up a little bit. Just like so. There I have it. Get this in there. I should use my bigger baking pan. That's alright. Get that in there just like so. Stuff that down in there. Don't forget that you must season those veggies, because you're going to be eating them and you want flavor. Alright. So find a little hole, a pocket. Pour your gravy right in there, just like so. Found another side over here on this end. I'm gonna get your gravy in there, and this is 2 cups. Well, maybe 2.5, because you know it went over the line. And see, you get all of that flavor that's hanging down the bottom. I'm gonna get that in there. It's going to make an amazing gravy onto this roast pork tenderloin, guys. Get the slugs off. Grab my aluminum foil. Now, if you're not going to put this on a cookie sheet, leave a part of it open so it doesn't boil over. Okay? Or you could just poke some holes in the top so it doesn't boil over, and it releases some of that steam and it doesn't boil over. That's just a tip. But if you're not going to poke holes in it, just let that lift up some, just like I'm gonna do. And but you can put this on a cookie sheet, so in case it decides that it wants to boil over, and you don't have to worry about a mess in your oven. Alright guys, I'll be back when this puppy is done. And thank you guys so much. Again, I just appreciate you guys so much for tuning in to Shelly's Homemade. I love you guys, and I'll be back to show you the finished product. Or yeah, to show you the finished product of this dish. And if I have anything in between, I'll definitely come back and show you guys. But this is going to go into a 375-degree oven for about 1 hour and 45 minutes. Maybe 2 hours, no more than 2 hours and 15 minutes, guys. Because you'll dry the pork out after that. Alright, so I'm going to get this into the oven. I'll be back. Remember, it's a pork tenderloin. Easy to dry out. So like I said, no longer than 2 hours and 15 minutes. Alright. Alright guys, so it's out of the oven. It smells amazing in here. Absolutely amazing. Look at the gravy. It needs to rest. As you can see, it's still bubbling all around. Oh my goodness. The potatoes are done. Onions, the celery, everything is in here is going to bring such amazing flavor. So what we have to do now is just let all the juices redistribute back into the meat. Because if I cut it now, all the juice is going to run and it's going to be dry. This took an hour and 55 minutes in the oven. Oh my goodness. This looks amazing. Smells amazing. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to get a piece of this, guys. So we're going to cut it together and we're going to see what's going on. How my son say, see what it's hitting for. Alright, guys. I'll be back. Alright, guys. So we're back. And we're going to slice up this beautiful piece of meat. See what is going on. Oh. First piece, nice and juicy. Oh man, that's amazing. It's hot. I waited 15 minutes. Let all the juices redistribute back into this pork. It looks amazing. Good for anybody's Sunday dinner. All those beautiful seasonings on there. You can cut this as thin or as thick as you would like. Put that on there. Oh, I'm telling you. Woo. I'm dropping the pork, guys. I'm dropping the pork. Oh, nice and moist too. Look at that. Just cutting it up. So I'm gonna taste it. Look. Look at that. You guys see that? Oh. Oh yeah. I'm gonna pick the pieces up. This thing is talking to me. I better eat the whole roast. This is what I'm talking about. As I've sliced this roast all the way across. Only thing family gotta do, put it on their plates. Alright guys, I'm out of here. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, all the ingredients, everything are going to be in the description box. Don't sweat. If you missed a step, go back and watch the video again. Alright guys, I'm out of here. I love you. Don't forget to have a wonderful day.